So today we're talking about how to know if you're intuitive using human design. So we're going to talk about where intuition lives in your chart, how transits affect your intuition, and how to develop your intuition in a fun and playful way. Over to you, Lucy.
Thanks, Morgan. So here's a quick recap from last week. Clairvoyance means clear vision. Clairvoyance means that you receive intuitive information in the form of visions or pictures. Clairaudience means clear audio or clear hearing. If you're clairaudient, it means that you receive intuitive information in the form of sounds or voices. Clairsentience means clear sensation or clear feeling. If you're clairsentient, it means that you receive intuitive information in the form of feeling physical sensations in your body and or feeling the emotions of others. And last but not least, claircognizance means clear knowing. Claircognizance means clear knowing. By knowing it, you know what you know, but you don't know how you know it. And it may feel like you are downloading the information from the universe at times. So, did you know that there are clues in your human design chart about how you're designed to be intuitive? Morgan is going to tell us a little bit more about those clues.
Okay, so first let's focus on the centers in your chart. So first thing to know about your centers is that they function differently when they're either defined or undefined. So today we'll be focusing on the undefined centers. The undefined centers are white in your chart and the defined centers will be colored in. So where you have undefined centers in your chart will be where you take in energy and read intuitive information from the people and world around you.
Okay, so let's go through each of these centers one by one, and we have some slides for you today. Amazing. So we start at the top. If you have an undefined head center, which is where the circle is focusing at the moment, it means that you are open to receive intuitive information in the form of inspiration. Now, this inspiration can be collective or it can be from others around you. Often, people with an undefined head center, for example, feel very inspired after working in public places, such as a coffee shop or a library even, where they're able to receive information from all sources all around them. So the next center that we focus on is the undefined Ajna center. So that's the second triangle underneath the head. When this center is undefined, you're able to take in and read intuitive information in the form of others' thoughts. So here's a quick story for you. I have both an open head and an open Ajna. My partner, my husband, has defined head and defined Ajna. And we have a little running joke in our house that often I'll start randomly just singing a little song and he'll look at me and go, I was thinking about that song all morning. You just read my mind. So that's a little story about how those two centers work. All right, so the next center down is the square. This is the throat center. If you have this center undefined, it means that you're able to be a voice for the voiceless. You're able to speak for others. And in some cases, if this center is defined, it also signifies the ability to channel messages and information from a higher source. Okay, and then the diamond in the middle of the chart is the G center or the identity center. When this center is undefined in your chart, you're able to take in and read intuitive information in the form of sensing other people's identities. You're able to feel into their life story. When this center is undefined, it's associated with clairsentience.
Okay, and then next we have the will center. So if you have an undefined will, you are able to take in and read intuitive information in the form of how to empower others. Then we have the solar plexus, the triangle on the right there. With the undefined solar plexus, you'll be able to take in and feel other people's feelings. So this is really a sign of a true empath. It can be, I know some people that have an undefined experience, sometimes it can be very overwhelming to feel all these feelings, but the sort of the trick is to know that you're picking it up from others and to allow it to flow through you and to let it go as best you can. Okay, and next we have the sacral. So with an undefined sacral center, you are able to take in and feel or sense other people's life force. So it's considered clairsentient. All right, and then the open root center. So you may also have a knowingness with this center undefined. So that's considered claircognizant. And it's like a knowingness of what other people want you to do, even though they don't specifically say it. So last but not least, we have the undefined spleen center. So this is the center of instinct and intuition. So having an undefined spleen may give you a capacity to experience intuition in an unlimited way. You can receive intuition through all channels at all times when it's undefined. So it depends who you are around and what environment you're in as to what you will be picking up on in the things around you. So just stop sharing the slide here. There we go. So I have an open spleen center or undefined spleen with the gate 57, which Lucy's going to talk a little more about. But so that's a lot of intuition coming in and out, but it also comes in many forms. So I have a funny story that one time I was working with this guy, and he asked me what I do for fun. And I said, as a joke, I read other people's minds. And he said, okay, great. I want to test you on that. And I thought, and I said, oh no, I'm just joking. He's like, no, let's try this out. So it turns, he said, okay. He said, I went to Vegas last year. And he said, and I met a celebrity. Tell me who it was. And I said, well, I don't know who it is. And he said, yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I said, okay, well, I said, all I can see is, and I described what I saw. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, and he said, who was it? He asked me again. So he's like, you know who it is. That's exactly who I'm thinking of. And I just said the first name that came to my mind. And he was just so funny. He was like, I think he was like in awe, but also a little scared. And so this doesn't happen all the time. For me, it happens sort of randomly. And I think that's because the undefined spleen, there's no consistency. When it's defined, there'll be some consistency. So sometimes I have experiences like that. And sometimes it's more, dreams, or I hear something, or, so it comes in many different forms. And so it's quite fun when it does, it shows up.
I love it. That's such a great story. Okay, so here's something to remember about your human design is that we all have all of the chart. That's one of the best ways of putting it. And like astrology, because human design is connected to astrology, we are all influenced and affected by the various planetary transits, right? So human design is the same. So you may find, for example, that if there is a particularly strong Neptune transit, it will activate certain parts of your chart, those parts being gates, channels, etc., which we'll go into more detail next week. So that's something to take into account, that your intuition will also be activated by what's happening in the planetary weather, the celestial weather. Okay, so now it's time for you to grab your human design chart, grab a pen and paper so that you can write down these specific gates and you can find them in your chart. So if you have the following gates defined, which means colored in, It may indicate how you are designed to be intuitive. So, as Morgan mentioned, gate 57. This gate represents clear knowing or the clear cognizant channel. So I think, as Morgan also mentioned, gate 57 comes off the spleen center. So if you have that, circle it, let us know in the comments. The head center gates, 61, gate 63, and gate 64 represent clairvoyance, and they also represent intuitive dreaming.
Okay, now for clairaudience. So this is found in different areas of the chart. We have gate 57 again, it found in the spleen center, as Lucy said. It's connected to the right ear, whereas gate 22, which comes off the solar plexus center, is connected to the left ear. So, and then we have the Ajna center, the gate 43, that is connected to the inner ear. So the gates of clairsentience can come in the form of empathy, like the gate 13 coming off of the G center. The gate 19 as well, also called the nature whisperer, comes off the solar plexus. And finally, we have gate 15, which connects with the plant, elemental, and animal kingdoms, which connect with all those. So.
It's so exciting. I love this part of human design. So just to reiterate, this is a really good time for you to grab your chart, take a note of these gates, write them down, and we can explore them further. All right. So a couple practical notes for you on how you can develop your intuition in a fun and playful way. So if you're clairvoyant, you can practice your clairvoyancy with tarot cards or oracle cards, so really working with that gift of clear vision. If you're clairsentient, work with crystals. So really get to know the feel for different crystals and what kind of intuitive information comes from them. That's a lot of fun. Also, if you like to work with cards or oracles or tarots, play with the clairsentient gift of warmth or heat. So I know a couple of people who work with clairsentience, and when they're choosing a tarot card, they close their eyes and they actually pick the one that feels the warmest. That's quite fun. If you're clairaudient, something that's really fun you can do is to work with automatic writing using your non-dominant hand. So ask a question, ask for some wisdom, some guidance, and begin writing. Doesn't matter how untidy it is. Begin writing with your non-dominant hand and see what information comes through your clairaudient channels. And then if you're claircognizant, this is really fun for anyone to play actually. Play some guessing games, a guess who. So with mystery movies, for example, knowing who did it, who's the baddie in the film. It's also really fun to play with who's on the other side of the phone call. Or if you hear a ping from a text message, test yourself and see if you can guess who it is before you look at the screen. Okay, so here's a question for you. Where is your intuition located in your human design chart? Let us know in the comments. We're looking forward to hearing from you. And if you like this video, don't forget to join us next week and check out our upcoming community class as well.